Apple stock, AAPL is the ticker symbol, been selling off over the past couple days. This is something I've said that Apple stock itself is overvalued. I put out a couple videos on this. AAPL stock has been going lower. There's more. I think that we're probably going to see AAPL stock drop a bit more given the future concerns that we're seeing with some of the analysts who have been sort of downgrading Apple stock. Let's jump in and I'll show you what I'm looking at, what I think Apple stock should be trading at. Let's jump in. If you're just joining me for the first time, thanks so much. What I do here, first and foremost, I am an economist and I break down, I look at the macro picture and I ask the question, what's going on with the economy? I start with the consumer. The consumer really does drive the U.S. economy more so than anything else. That's my starting point. From there, I try to figure out what's going to happen next with the stock market and individual stocks. If you're looking for value investment, this is my approach to how I look at individual stocks. Make sure to hit the like and follow button. And of course, you'll find links down below for dhtayloranalysis.com. That's my website. Let's jump in. All right, so Apple itself, they've been selling off. Now, we saw the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield moving up a little bit today. This is Tuesday, just after Martin Luther King celebration from yesterday. U.S. 10-year Treasury benchmark yield moving above 4%. 4.06, that's your benchmark. That's the measuring stick. As value investors, we ask the question, where's the 10-year? From there, we compare everything. So Apple hasn't been doing stellar. Of course, towards the end of December, everything was really moving much higher, but a lot of that was sort of the Santa Claus effect. There wasn't a lot of players weren't really making moves at the time. Since then, AAPL stock has been moving lower. I expect more to come, and I'll show you why. Comparing Apple stock to XLK or SPY. So I look at the select sector ETFs. XLK is the technology sector. Apple outperforms it. The XLK, of course, is the orange right there. SPY stock is the S&P 500. And Apple, of course, outperforms that. But at times they kind of merge. Now, you're looking at over the course of the past 2 years, since I want to say early summer, late spring 2020, Apple stock's up 183% or 163%. It was up a little bit higher, almost touching 190% if you're looking at this chart good enough. That's huge. In just about 3.5 years, pushing 4 years. The rest of XLK stock, which Apple is a big component of that, 117%. Most of what happened with XLK stock was Apple. Let's break down the financials. We've got financial earnings coming out for Apple here pretty soon, and we're already starting to see some downgrades. The concerns, of course, and you see this all over the place. Cell phone sales, of course, are accelerating, but overall, what's the AI picture for Apple? No one's really has a clear picture, although Apple itself, they're kind of one of the leaders in that area. We just don't have a clear picture as to what the next iPhone is going to look like. In the meantime, I'm in the market for a new M3 iMac Mini myself. When does it hit? Macs themselves struggling with sales. Those revenue gains aren't quite there. The rest of the Apple companies kind of carrying it. We'll see what Q1 looks like for Apple here in, I think, about 2-3 weeks. 2024, we're looking for $396 billion. It's a slight $13 billion increase from 2023. 2025, we're, of course, looking for almost $420 billion. Let's see what happens with the economy. My take, the Federal Reserve needs to bump interest rates up a little bit more. We're seeing unemployment numbers kind of mellowing out a little bit, which means the economy is going to be kind of moving forward again, which means inflation pressures aren't going to magically hit that 2% level. Higher for longer will prevail. Gross margins, of course, as consistent as they can be. Operating margins, fairly consistent for Apple, a little bit higher. And then, of course, net margins, you're looking at 25%, which is fairly consistent for these for Apple. Price to earnings ratio. This is the one where you really want to kind of take a look at and ask the question. The Q1 2023, of course, 22.08. There's a 5 times more right now at 27.93. What happens if Apple stock drops down to 20 times earnings? More than likely, you're going to see a lot of buying, because this is one of those stocks that's perpetually overvalued, and individuals jump in and buy on the dips. But what I want to know is the earnings per share. Of course, this is the quarterly, but let's take a look at projected. 2024, 653. Earnings per share, 709 for 2025. Expectations are pretty high that there's going to be a big, decent increase for 2024 than 2025. Let's break that down. What does that mean? The U.S. 10-year Treasury yield, it's actually about 4.06 right now. I put this together a little earlier. SPY. Now, I take all 500 stocks and I ask the question, each stock, the next 4 quarters, how much earnings per share projection for each respective stock, then add that up, divide that over the respective stock price, add up all 500. I do not weight that with this index that you're looking at here for my numbers. The reason why, I want to know what each individual stock is. Then I just aggregate them all. On a percentage basis, SPY stock is looking at 5.018%. So with the Treasury yield at 4%, SPY stock's at 5%, you'll look down below. Apple's actually not horribly overvalued, but you're probably going to see a buy on the dip opportunity. XLK stock, of course, was the technology sector, overvalued. Microsoft's in there, and that's taken off. Earnings per share, 656 divided over top of the 183.75 stock price. That gives you your yield, 3.57%. If you ask the question, what if Apple yield was 4.5%, given the 656 earnings per share? Or what if there was a 5% yield on Apple? You're looking at a stock price, Apple stock, dropping probably down close to 150, 160. Of course, you're going to get a lot of buy on the dips. But right now, we're seeing a lot of selling, and this could be the snowball at the top of the hill, because it's so well followed. If Apple stock continues lower, I mean, that's a pretty decent drop. You're looking at it was at 200 just mid-December. We're at 180. That's down $20, which is 10%. It's still overvalued, but not by much. If you're a value investor and you're looking to buy value, you might get a really great opportunity. And that's what really boils down with Apple, is simply this is a stock that in a solid economy, they will perform solidly. But a lot of these stocks are overvalued, and we're seeing analysts come in and saying, time to check Apple valuations, and they think it's overvalued and the stock is moving lower. If you are a value investor and that's what you're looking for, make sure to hit the links down below. Hit the like and follow button for the channel. The channel is growing quite nicely. Thanks so much. DHTayloranalysis.com is my website. That link is down below. You can find the top 50 value investment stocks. We'll see you in the next video.